Oh my, it's Kellee White.
Hey, it's James Van Praagh.
What are you up to?
Thinking about changing the world.
Me too. We should do a show together.
What would it be about?
Let me show you.
The James and Kellee Show. Hi, James.
Hi, Kellee. It's like watching a parade pass by. You know?
It's so fun. Whee! I love it. Hi there.
Oh, hi, Kellee. How have you been?
Well, you know,
those crazy things going on right now.
crazy things. And it was so funny. I have to tell everybody, you accidentally butt dialed FaceTime twice.
Yes.
And it was so perfect because it's been a rough few days.
Yeah.
You know, and your timing for me was perfect. So thank you for accidentally butt dialing me.
I've been, it's been a crazy time for me too. And I just thought today, I just want to stay in. I don't want to go out. I'm going to do the show, but I'm really kind of like in my own world right now.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
Strange out there. It feels very strange out there.
Yeah, it sure does. Well, I can explain some of it astrologically.
Yeah, because Kellee and I were talking right before we got on, and I said this world feels like it's just going through a lot of trouble. It just feels like a troubled place to be. And I don't know, kids that are raised these days, I don't know if they're any moral compass anymore, or if they're rules. It feels like, I don't know, wild west in some respects. I don't know, very males, but it's I'm feeling so. Am I getting old? Is that I'm getting old? I don't think it is.
I don't think so, because I know we used to hear our grandparents say that, but this is a little different. This world is different.
This world is different. It's not a world I thought would be like this.
Yeah.
Whatever that means, I don't know. But the energy, the way I feel, or whatever, it's a strange place. Again, you don't want to judge it, but it's just observing what this feels like. And we were talking about astrologically, there's got to be stuff going on. You say, oh, yes, there is. So you want to tell us what's happening.
Well, I will. So let's start with this. When 2020 began, there was a new moon in Capricorn in 2020, okay? And the new moon in Capricorn in the year 2020, so in January of 2020, had all these other planets around that were also in Capricorn. So the theme for the year was resilience.
Okay.
So now we're in 2021 with our first new moon is also in Capricorn. However, this one is a little different. This one is different for a couple of reasons. It conjuncts Pluto.
Okay, I'm writing this down. Okay.
So that means when the moon conjuncts Pluto, it means it's right next to Pluto. So Pluto is the one that kind of brings energy, intense energy, like explosion kaboom type of energy. Okay, and so the year for the new moon, the theme for this year is reset and renew. Reset and renew, because of this spiritual meaning is about soul growth, and our souls are going to grow a lot this year. You think that we grew a lot in 2020, we're going to continue on that growth, and it's about evolution to our soul. So this is a very important time, because when this conjuncts Pluto, it's spontaneous. And it makes life a little more serious during this period of time that we're in, as we were just talking. And the next 4 weeks, it really makes life a little more serious. Interesting enough, this is a good time to do this, everybody, to recharge the energy of your home.
Oh, great.
Okay. So it's to make a career change. How many people have I spoken to in the last week? I want to change my job. This is the time. You want to think about it? This is the time to do it, actually. And this is also a great time to set long-term goals. Set long-term goals. This is going to be really important. Another situation that occurs is on the 13th. So that new moon is on the 13th of January. So we're talking in 2 days now. This comes up Wednesday. At the same day, Mars squares Saturn. This is a very intense day. So, when you and I were talking earlier today, this is really this energy that's coming in this year. It clashes. It may make us tired. So by Wednesday, you may be tired. People may be just tired, or they may be frustrated, or they may not want to deal with things. Now that's going to pass. I just want everybody to know that'll pass.
Take naps, lots of naps. I do.
Naps are great. Aren't
Yeah,
they great?
naps are great.
That's
Once I started being able to fall asleep, they were better. But yes, naps are great.
That's it, number one. That would be perfect. And then on January 14th, Uranus, that has been in retrograde for months since August, goes direct into Taurus. It's in Taurus, but it
Oh
goes
my gosh.
direct. When that goes direct, it may blow things a little out of proportion. So
Excuse
what
me,
am I
Cal.
saying?
What did you say goes direct? What is the planet that goes direct?
Uranus.
Uranus. Okay.
And so things may blow a little bit out of proportion. So this is because Uranus, I should say this, is an instigator.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Wow. Never thought of that. That's really
It's
interesting.
interesting, right? But
Yeah.
Uranus means freedom. Um, and then by the time we get to the 20th, so this is all leading up to the 20th, and the
Wow.
20th we know is Inauguration Day.
Wow.
And on that day, it's going to be very, very intense because Mars is in Taurus and it conjuncts, which means it's next to Uranus, also in Taurus, and squares Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. I'll just say this, it means it's all equally fixed forces in a dynamic conflict. How's that one for you?
That's pretty intense.
It's
And
intense.
I'm
So
thinking of drinking right away.
well, it's so funny you said that. I said to my daughter, I said, okay, I'll do the whole 30 and I won't drink for all of January. Okay, Mom, we
Good
can
luck.
do
How
this.
many hours?
Okay, 6 days actually. I did 6 days, and then I said, "Oh, this is a little bit much for me."
There's got to be an outlet. So with all the stress, it is very stressful. There's got to be some kind of an outlet. So whether it's I do yoga and I do Pilates and I do
Yeah,
meditations, of course, I love
yeah,
that. And do my gardening, and that gets me out of my head and
yeah,
trouble. And I really do for like an hour a day. I'm with my dog. I walk and I just meditate. But meditate is just looking at the flowers or looking at the sun, the sky, the trees, whatever it is. Hearing people
yeah,
laugh. Whatever it is, just gotta let your mind go for an hour a day. Let your mind just go drift and let yourself relax because the soul isn't meant to be in hyper mode all the time. It's just not. It goes
right.
against our nature. So if you can step back into that mode of observation and not caught up in the frenetic energy of everything and times like today, we were just talking about how sad we were about the earth, and we had the same exact insight. How many miles apart are we?
Yeah,
And yeah, so that's because I'm picking up a lot of the energy I think of the earth and of people, and it's just this like, so I have to go through this, and it's like giving up, but don't give up. I mean,
oh yeah, we
keep
will
pushing
get
up,
through all of
we'll get
this.
through it. But
Yeah,
the impact is there. It's very very true.
yeah.
And therefore today, oh Kelly, so yeah, today we're going to Kelly and I were on the phone speaking. We do that occasionally, and
Every
it's so
day.
interesting every day, and getting to this observation mode, which I've been probably for a good 2 years now, I'd say strongly, and it's a really passive way of being mindful, if you could say it that way. It's just being observant of everything going on, and you get that way, and you slip into that way, and I don't think people know enough, and it's one of the important laws or important rules or whatever you want to call that. When I first started getting involved with spiritualism, with mediumship, I became aware of a life review, and the life review we all have when we first pass over. There's a life review. We see, feel, and experience every thought, every action, every word we gave out in our lifetime, and we hear it or feel it from the other person's point of view. So if you went to a store and you went in a good mood, and you yelled at the shopkeeper or whatever, and they got upset and they yelled at their worker, and that worker got upset going home and yelled at the family. When you're having that life review, you become aware of, you feel that that cash register person, the other person, and we have what's called a rippling effect. And you say that one word, that one thought, one action affected that person and that person and that person and that person. And you're responsible for all of that because you created that thought, that action, and those words. And if everyone would know that, I don't think we'd have wars. I don't think we'd be, I think if everybody knew there was this life review, and that's why I think it's too bad religions don't talk about what heaven really is, and you have to repent. There's a God that goes here, you go there. However they want to say it, but I wish people would realize that they're going to see all their stuff again. They're going to have to live it again.
Right.
This isn't free. As mediums, we see energy all around people all the time. And you see it when it sucks them dry, can't breathe, and ends up in disease or illness of some kind. You see when people can't forgive what happens to them that way, or their families. Yeah, it isn't just affecting you; it affects the generations after. So the sins of the father shall be visited upon the children. In the Bible, that saying, it's very true. And I've done so many readings where I've actually, their spirits come through and said it was the pattern we had to go through because our fathers or whatever people before us, 2 generations back created this situation, and it's lived in the family generation now. It has to be burned out in several generations.
Wow. Wow. So really what you're saying is, please, for God's sakes, be mindful
You
of
have
your
to be aware
choices.
of your words. The words are very true. Words are they're there. They're solid. You don't see them in this dimension, but every other dimension you can see the words that come out of the mouth that are created with words, vocal, and the thoughts. You can see the creative thoughts come out, and you can see the quality of those thoughts. If there are lovely, beautiful thoughts, it'll be lighter colors, pastels, a lighter feeling. Negative will be darker and dense, and that's what you see in the spirit world. When you get over there and you're walking around, people don't speak to each other like they do here on the earth. There's no vocal cords per se. They see your character by the colors that you wear. Now I say wear the colors that your character is made of from living on this earth for many lifetimes, other places. The choices that you've made, what have you created for yourself, is what they will see. They will see your colors.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Looking forward to that.
So tonight's show is called Consequences.
So consequences. I love this quote, Dolores Canyon. Remember Dolores
No, I
Canyon?
loved her.
Just
Yes,
loved
friend
her.
of
We
mine.
were we were actually going to go see her, and then she passed away.
Yeah, I saw once in Long Beach, but yes, she was great. She was great.
Yeah, she was great. She said every cell in your body knows what you think.
It's true. Very true. Very true.
Yeah, yeah.
Very true.
Wow, boy. This is. I mean, this is the great law, isn't it? When we
It's a
talk
great
about.
law. So many people refer to it as karma. So it's a law, but
Yeah.
this is the exact law, which is cause and effect. And we know in physics, it's been studied, of course, that every action is reaction. So it's the same thing with all of our thoughts, words, and actions will really come back to us. They're boomerangs. And if people would realize that, they'd be so much more mindful of how they treat the person, what the scenarios are sending out, the negativity, the dishonesty. I
Right.
mean, my goodness, they don't want to live. If you bad times here, imagine when you're in a spirit world where it's just a mental energy there, and you have to relive all of your thoughts in real time, and
Mm,
it's just it's a great heaven or hell based upon how you lived your life. No doubt about
so
it.
true. It's so true. Don't you? When you hear these stories of people that have made bad choices, that are just continuing to make bad choices, don't you want to step in and say, "What are you doing? Stop madness now."
Well, yes, I know very well about this field. I know that, and I feel for people who do things that are bad. They're going to
Yeah.
hurt children, like abuse children, and hurt people, and they don't think anything of it. They think that's just the way it is. Well, in truth, that's not true, because you're hurting that child. You're whoever, or abusing a person, or whatever. You're hurting them. You're using it to destroy. That's against our nature,
Yeah.
and they have to realize that they're responsible. It's going to come back to get them. It's a boomerang.
Right.
This is very interesting, but you could say to that person, those people, whatever, you could say, listen, this is bad. And they might say, no, it isn't. It's how I live. It's what I know. And that's very
Right.
true. As my good friend Kellee White once said to me, you got to accept them where they're at. So the level of awareness that they are, not obviously it's not a high level, because they wouldn't
Yeah.
abuse or create violence on anyone else, or violate people, or things, or animals, or they wouldn't.
That's so
So,
true.
but we being teachers have to
Yeah.
remind people that this is what it's about. Is everything is energy, and it's what you do with that energy that you create. It can be positive or negative, and you have that choice every moment of every day.
Exactly. Every moment you can make a different choice.
Right.
Today creates tomorrow. Your destiny lies in your hand.
It's true. It's true. Renee's with us, and he's going to put the phone number on. And a lot of people want to get phone calls in too. So, it's probably already up there. I'm sorry. I love this about karma. We can call it many things, we label it many things, consequences, but it's the energy that you're giving out, you'll get it back. I call it the boomerang effect as well. And it's called karma. I was going to write a book about karma, but it was just it's too muddled with a lot of different
Mm.
definitions. But the law of cause and effect, for every action is an equal and opposite reaction, because every action is comprised of energy, and the energy created by this action has to be returned to the same intensity with which it was generated. Get that, everybody? The same intensity which was generated. Just saying.
Beautiful.
Um, the universe doesn't judge these actions. It merely circulates the energy and the intention of the action, because the universe and everything in it operates in a cyclical way.
Mm.
Each time a person performs, here's a good one. I'm sorry. Each time a person performs an action, it creates a memory, which in turn generates a desire. And this can in time form habits or behavior and drive future choices.
Wow.
It's a good one.
Wow. That's a
Very
really
true.
good
They
one.
get caught up in
God.
patterns, don't they? They get caught up in patterns.
Yes.
And people like to
Yeah.
blame other people, not take responsibility for their choices or something they've done bad. They don't want, oh, it's their fault, not my
Mhm.
fault.
Right, right.
Right?
Yeah. They don't really stop enough to really do any work on themselves.
No,
And
no.
it really, if that so much could be eliminated if people would go into either a therapy or do some sort of work on themselves.
Self-help, self-help. I
It
mean, we're all here.
self-help would really, especially, James, this year, well, 2020 was really about that, slowing down, looking inward,
Yes,
making better choices. And I think the choices really, you have to look at, is it something that will hurt somebody?
that's right.
You
That's
just
right.
have to be mindful of that. Is this going to hurt somebody if I do this or that? I mean, it's not that difficult.
And it's not about the person having that they're happy or a good time, or they're imposing themselves onto you, and that's not right. Um, it's, and you know what it is, Kelly. Also, as I've mentioned this before, and as I get older and older and work with spirit, they're throwing these other things at me. But they often will say it's the intention behind the act. It's the intention behind the thought. So and
Yes.
it happens all the time, as you know. It's the intention. It's not the actual act. It's what was thought of it. So even if you had the intention of go robbing a bank. You never did it, but there's an intention there. What was the intention? Why would it? Whatever it was. I mean, you gotta have to live with that. So you gotta be careful, everybody. You gotta be careful. It's a slippery slope, and
Yeah.
you can't let it run your life per se, but be a part of your everyday life. No doubt about it. I think it'd be a better life for everybody. They'd be happier. It gives the universe something to do for you positively. You could also do positive things and loving things, and that always comes back. But just do the right thing.
Do
Treat the
the
other
right
person as
thing.
you want. Treat the other
Yeah.
person as you want to be treated. You
Right.
know.
I also find that right now things are going quicker, and that
Oh,
like karma
I
comes
can't
back
keep up.
quicker. And
Quicker.
I mean, I just feel that if you do something that you shouldn't do, it's going to come back faster
It's
and
going to bite
harder. It
you.
feels
Yes,
like.
yes, it's very true. And because I think it's also, Kelly, and I say this a lot in my lectures over the years, people may say, well, I didn't know any better, or they're living in a fog, or they're asleep and I wake. And they might say, well, when they pass over and have their life review, yeah, well, I didn't know anything about that. And they're going to say, well, you did because you saw James and Kelly and they told you about this. So don't try to
Oh,
get away from
I
responsibility, because
love that.
now you're responsible, people. You've heard us, our voices.
Exactly.
That's part of your experience. So try to
Right.
live it, because these are gems. These are treasures
Mhm.
here. No accident that you're here listening, seeing this right now, because you need that. And Kelly and I are not here to force it down your throat at all. It's just something for you to look at. And if it works for you, good. I'm trying to help you. If not, then that's fine.
There was a great also thing from White Eagle, and you talked about White Eagle today in your show earlier
Right.
this morning, and I love White Eagle too, which is and he said that karma is not meant to be a punishment. It's a present for the sake of education. How else is someone to learn how to be a good person if they are never taught that harmful action is wrong?
It's true. It's very, very
Interesting.
true. It's all about learning. It's lessons you learn. It's yeah. The hard one too, I think, because this is a planet of addictions. This
Yeah.
three-dimensional planet Earth is a place to deal with addictions, and we're very addicted. We're a very addicted society, and this is where you want to heal this coming year here. Heal addictions, whether it's emotional
Mhm.
addiction, maybe it's a physical addiction,
Right.
drug addiction, alcohol addiction, codependency. There's so many here on this earth.
Mhm.
It happens. I mean, I was, yeah, could have been up my dog. I don't know. It happens though. Things happen, but
Yeah.
we got to be aware. This is the place to get rid of those behaviors, cutting those patterns of, or even Kelly, right? Generational. It could be from. I know
Yeah.
alcoholism runs in my family from 2 or 3 generations back, and
Well,
it's
and
just really
sexual abuse, you can go on and
sexual
on
abuse
with things
too.
that go back trauma, emotional abuse. Yeah. This is really a great year to set the intention, everybody, to really start looking at your life. What do you need to let go of? What do you want to bring forth? How do you want to make a change in your life? How do you want to not do the things that James and I are talking about with karma? How do you want to add good things in? Because good things do come back. They also boomerang back,
That's
right?
exactly right. It's energy. And person said to me in my soul care, I said, can I have a happy life? Can you tell me when I'm going to have a happy life? And I said, well, I don't know. But if you want to have a happy life, then you be a happy person. Put happiness out there and you'll have a happy life. If you don't,
Right.
you won't have a happy life. It's as simple as that.
Right. Right.
Once you get out, you get back. It's as simple as that.
It's so true. It's so true. It's all attitude too. You
It's
really do
attitude.
have to change your attitude, everybody. Got to
But
put in really positive things in your
this
head.
is also something I looked up, Kelly, with this karma, which is where the consequences comes from. And it says karma, like everything else, is made up of energy, and energy has specific frequency configuration. Negative imprints stored in the energetic body can pull reality out of your natural being into karmic pattern or family or historical pattern. Treatments can transmute karmic imprints and release karmic conditioning on all levels of your awareness: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. So by breaking karmic patterns and cycles, you can start to make conscious choices about the life you want to lead. Each session can help you to transcend past karma and improve your connection to the universe. So how do we do treatment? Well, you probably do this in your own work with clients. Number one, identify the repeating patterns that keep showing up in your life.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. And I just started doing that at 60. Have a heightened awareness, wisdom, and knowing. So we talked about that.
Mhm.
Make decisions that are heart driven.
Exactly. And that's how you raise your vibration too. Heart driven.
Heart driven. Live with your heart out, I always say. Learn to respond. Oh, this is a good one. Learn to respond differently to situations that arise. So don't go back to that same old way. Try something new.
Oh, I love that. In
The
fact, one of
third
the
one.
things that you put, it's a really good one, is trying to look at where's the person coming from? What's the person's trauma in their background that they may have made this choice? You
Well,
know,
you picked up on my gardener at my house. You came to visit my gardener, and you just started talking to you when you came in the driveway. And you said to him, "You lost a brother." And he goes, "I did, because you still have that trauma with you. Remember that?"
I do remember that. That was
Tim.
a God, good
Tim.
memory. Yeah.
Well, you just met him in the driveway, and you said that to him. And he's like, "Yeah."
I could see the energy.
He liked the weeds. He liked the weeds on the property. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. Be less emotionally reactive, so they lose their attachment to past lives and future desires. So I'm looking. Be less emotionally reactive, so they lose their attachment to past memories and future desires. These no longer have such a negative impact as they become more consciously responsive. It's very true. When we take that judgment away,
Yes. Yes. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one, actually. Judgment.
you and I were talking this morning about a mutual friend. We have many friends mutual, but one person, I recognized that there was a pattern. I said to you, "There's a pattern here. I see it." He said, "Yeah," and you told me, I said, "Yeah, I could recognize that. I've had this behavior, these characteristics in other people that have been born, and I see things that some people do. I see it repeating, so I got to stop that."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to do it. Alyssa, here's Alyssa Watling is asking, do the higher vibe individuals have more past lives than a lower vibe individual? Does this correlate to old versus new souls? It's an interesting question.
Yes, it is an interesting question. I don't know what you think, Kelly, but you know, in some ways it's limiting us, because you're limiting the soul, because we talk about past lives, and many people are referring to the physical earth as a past life. I'm sure that might be intention, but the soul can be, in most times, it just to come to the earth, come to other places, other spectrums,
Yeah.
other planets, other solar systems. So it's all about experiences, I would think. So when you
Yeah.
get those experiences in other light ways, or ways of being, whether it's vapor, light, energy, there's different ways of being too. So it's a hard one, because it's all different experiences, and the characteristics are built differently.
And I also think that the sooner that any soul that's here listening to this, the sooner you can make good choices, healthy choices, be good, be kind, be empathic, all of these really simple things, have compassion, that is going to make your vibration go much higher.
Higher. The best vibration there is love.
That's it. And that's really why we ultimately come here, isn't it?
It's why we come here, to learn love. There are many different aspects of love, many different facets of love, how to behave in a situation regarding love. And love is everything about forgiveness, compassion, patience. It's all that. It incorporates all of that.
Right.
Um, and if I was going to go with what you said before about manifestation happens very quickly right now in this time. So everybody out there, tomorrow start doing things in a different way. Maybe
Great
write
idea.
a note on the wall, or something in the bathroom. I put some in the bathroom mirror, so I'll see that. But maybe you want to start living the next 30 days, do a heart diet, and just do things with love. And the person that's receiving it doesn't have to know what you're doing. That's not what this is just for you, not for them. But just see how things will change in 30 days, it sounds like a commercial, but
Mhm.
they will. Things will start. You'll notice changes in 30 days. You'll notice subtly there'll be changes. Whether people are treating you differently, whether you're getting different phone calls from people, or different, I don't know, social things from people coming calling you, or I don't know. You'll have to see what happens in your life. But when you put love out there, it gives the universe. It's like seeds for growth, and it really will give the universe what it needs to
Yeah.
grow. It's an amendment. It's an amendment to life. How about that? It's an amendment to making your choices in life. Amendment. I'm all about fertilization these days of plants. So I'm really so
Right.
amending your life. Amendment. That's what it's really about. See the next 30 days what happens. It'll start off subtly, but it'll start growing, and you'll like the changes, and you'll start getting to pattern. That pattern. That's a good pattern to get into.
Oh,
Right?
and it's a great time to do that now because now our souls are going to grow pretty quickly now. So put good seeds in there,
And it's some
water them
amendment.
well.
Yes,
I
very true.
like that, James. That's a great idea. And I love Karen Maynard says it helps not to have a victim mentality.
Oh,
Right
that's in
on,
my
sister.
notes. It's a no victim mentality. It said very good, Karen. It said no victim mentality. Exactly. That's what it has here. That's when you
Mm,
also transmute. Transmute, change. So
yeah,
it's breaking those patterns, recognize them and breaking them and loving yourself and others.
right. Wow. Um, so Janine Walston says, can you talk about aspects of the memory increasing to the mind, the soul, and spirit? Can you
I
talk
don't know.
about
I don't know what that
aspects of
means.
the memory?
What
Uh,
aspect?
I'm not sure what she means by
Well,
that.
I don't know. What do you think, Kelly?
Well, the aspects of the memory of our memory increasing, the
So
mind, body, and soul.
yeah,
I'm not
I know
sure.
what that means, but if you want to just put it all together, the soul is everything, is all that. This is 80% of who we are is outside the body. Only 20% is here in the physical. So we are mental being. We have mental body, emotional body, physical body, a spiritual body, and one action creates change in all those bodies, of course. So the receiving of that energy might be different in a physical body or emotional body, or it could be a very different way of receiving it, or the imprint that it receives. So, but I'll tell you one thing, which is really what you should hold on to, is the soul has a soul memory, and it comes down to whatever subtle bodies there and how it affects subtle bodies. But it is an energy which will
Yeah.
affect everything.
Mhm.
So it depends, I guess, on the experience too. If it was something which is very emotional, it's going to affect the emotional body more than the mental body. But there's, of course, a little bit. I would say all the equations that'll go into percentages that go into those bodies. They'll make it'll make an imprint. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it will definitely. Well, and here's one, Maria Carp Diem, which I love that name. Setting boundaries is so important for self-care and feeling good and raising our vibration. Boy, is that the truth.
You can't wait for
S-
someone else out there to do it for you. You got to do it yourself. Sorry, folks. Can't wait for love
Right.
to come to you. You got to love yourself first.
So true. You can't
So
wait for
true.
if you think somebody else is going to set their boundary for you, it's not going to happen.
They won't fill that void either. No, you got to do it
No.
yourself.
So true. Oh, I love that one. That okay, James. Bethany Graves says, "What is the relationship of karma and the soul contract?" Interesting question.
I'll let you answer that one, Kelly.
Okay, so
I have the answer, but
you have the answer. Okay. Well,
your answer might be different than
here,
mine. So
okay. So when we do our soul contract, we will have karma from past lives. We'll have karma that we'll have to deal with, and so the soul contract will come up with a way that we're going to work through that karma. We're going to come up with some way in that contract that may, help. Maybe a little more difficult and challenging for us, but something to work through the karma.
yeah, exactly. Same thing, and then a little bit more too. Probably just sprinkle a little bit more here.
Okay.
Um, so I would just say that we come back on this earth as souls. We come back here to grow.
Yeah.
We go back to learn and expand. And when we learn something, it expands. So there can be situations we signed up for our soul. And hopefully we've taken these classes that we do pass the test, right? That's we're hoping that we've gone through these experiences, these lessons. So we'll know better then when a situation or a similar situation arises, we know the right choice to make. So, and that's really what happens at the core of your being. You know what is right from wrong. And
Right.
I think that we have to get caught up in karma, if you will, because we forget who we are. We forget that core of our being, and we get more in the head instead of the heart. And I think that's a big problem. Also, because the seat of the soul is in the heart. There's actual. Actually, the name I have wrote in my second book. It's a cell, kind of a cell, of a soul cell. And I have to look it up. And I researched this whole thing. And it was really amazing. I was like flabbergasted. That seeds is
Mhm.
throughout your lifetime. It's like that's right in
Mm.
your heart space. So the woman knows herself, the heart to be true, is where they are. So So I think it goes into is that you have certain experiences, like let's say you chose certain classes, destiny, soul destiny, certain class you have to take, and that's destiny. But what we do with that information is a choice, right?
Ah,
That's a choice.
right, of course.
It's a choice you make. So you could, for instance, it might be a soul contract, a destiny point that you're supposed to meet this person in your life, and you met this person, you decide to have a coffee with them, and or have a meal with them. You go out, you meet, and you have a meal or a coffee, and it's a nice evening. You have a choice to make now. Will that person be in your life forever? You're gonna be partners. You're gonna just be, or maybe just be friends, or maybe it's just a one-time thing. What is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
So you have the free will. You have free choice of that, and you make the right choice based upon your intuition, your soul's voice, going into the inner part of your heart. What do you feel? What do you sense?
Mm, I
Right?
love that. I love that. Wow.
It's you.
Carmen Turbuck says, "Can grief and low vibration make you physically sick?"
Yes. Yes, it certainly can.
Yes.
I dealt with it this past week with my daughter, amazing, my four-legged daughter. She lost her brother and she's been in grief and she's coming out of it now, but yeah, she couldn't eat. She couldn't eat. She's emotionally upset. So emotions can certainly do that. You probably have some great situations or experiences from your clients, Kelly. You
I
can
do.
talk about any general ones, how people react emotionally to a grief or if they don't handle it, I
If they
guess you could
don't
say.
handle it right. I have a really unbelievable story I should talk about, talk about the boomerang effect. I mean,
Yes.
I'll make this brief, but it's a beauty. It's a beaut, as they say. I had permission from my client that I could tell this story, but I have a client that she was married for 20 years. She had an affair for 10 of those years. And the last part of, let me see, about mid March of last year, the boyfriend that she had, so she had the husband and the boyfriend. The boyfriend ended up with COVID, brought it back to her and her husband. The husband died of COVID. The boyfriend survived barely, and then she now has.
Alzheimer's or dementia, and there are certain things that certain situations or food diets that we can use to help not bring it on. And one was a really good one. We know about the crossword puzzles and that sort of thing. One was doing something new every day that's out of your comfort zone.
Ooh,
I like that.
really?
Yeah, every day something new that's out of your comfort zone.
And that's supposed to help with your brain power?
Alzheimer's, yeah, the brain power.
Okay. Wow, I love that.
Apples every day. Apples are a good
Okay.
one. Yeah. Yeah. Don't over drink, recreational things that drinking. And what is it? Coffee is okay. Oh my gosh. And what else? Diet is important. Pure veggies and fruits. And we know that that's very true. No processed foods. This should be
Right.
plant-based. Yeah. Anyway, interesting.
Interesting. Very, very,
Do you have any phone
very.
calls maybe from somebody?
Yeah.
Renee.
Renee, there you go.
Hi. Yes, we have some phone calls.
I just heard that in my head. Sorry.
Yeah, we have Susan. Susan, I'm going to bring you into the show. Here you are. You're live now. Susan, go ahead.
Hi there.
Hi, Susan. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank
Hey.
you. So I just wanted to call and tell you just some synchronicities that have been happening in my life the last couple of days and get your take on it. I got together with a girlfriend the other night and we did oracle readings. And excuse me, I'm nervous.
Just take
I need
breathe,
to
breath.
breathe.
Breathe. There you go.
Yeah.
Totally on.
Yeah. Okay, great. So everything went really well. Everything was positive with my reading and just some things that happened. One of the cards that I had, it had little falling stars and falling hearts on it. And I thought it was a nice card. I liked the card. And later in the night, I realized that I had a fake tattoo that had the exact heart and star put on me.
Interesting.
That was kind of neat.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good one.
And
Did you choose
yeah.
it? Though?
And then as I was leaving my
Sorry, Susan. Did you choose that
yeah,
tattoo? Why did you choose that tattoo?
I was just I was attracted to the heart, and then I saw the star, and I was like, oh, I need that star too.
Okay. That's curious.
So,
okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. And as I was leaving my friend's house, an owl flew right over my car, and one of my cards also had an owl in it.
And I have to
And
say, an Al means the female psychic.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
okay. Yeah, it was really cool. I got the shivers when I saw it.
So Susan, do you have done
Then I
psychic
got
work? Have you done
um
any psychic
I
work at all?
haven't
Psychic development at all?
I haven't done any in particular. It's something that every once in a while I'll get little like I have a voice that I hear in my head that's not mine, and it
Yeah.
doesn't happen very
We're
often.
the
It
right
doesn't
people,
happen
don't worry.
more. So yeah, so but I haven't done any specific work in any kind of psychic work.
Yeah, synchronistic.
And then the next thing that happened was my friend texted me afterwards, and she said, I feel so good. My vibration is high. We need to keep being the light for other people. Like, yeah, we should be. So the next morning I got up, and I follow a gentleman on Facebook who does a little positivity message every day.
Great.
And his message was to be the lighthouse and be the light for other people. And going back to my reading, my first card was a lighthouse.
You're on a roll.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
great.
I know.
Amazing.
Things just kept happening. And then later in the day, I was just thinking about all the things that have happened, like over the years, like little signs. And I always get the number 1111. And I was thinking about when that happened one time. And I literally turned and glanced at my clock on the stove, and it was 1111.
That's a great message for people
So
to get to.
it's just all of these things just within like a matter of 12 hours. It's crazy.
That's great. Well, it sounds like you're on your path. Keep going.
Yeah, it shows you also. It shows you that you're not alone. Number one, you're not alone, and there are much more than just this physical body, right? There's so much. The higher self is leading us and guiding us. And a psychic once said to me, one of the first readings I ever had from a psychic, I think it was 19 or 20, and it's lived with me this day, this information. She said to me, if you're on your right path, then it'll be easy, and you'll have synchronistic experiences one right after the other. If you're not on your right path, the doors will close, and you'll have to take another road. And that's exactly what you're on. So you're on your right path, you're on your right road. And I want to say to you, you're the owl. Wisdom is your key. Wisdom is your guide. And also, don't negate, the intuition. I think it's something to start getting into a little bit here and there. I would just start looking into development of some kind. Even with your friend, with the cards, you should make a little group maybe, and I don't know, meditate online and do something like psychic exercises. But yeah, and you come from the right space too, which is great.
You've got a school, the mystical school of arts, James. So you've got lots of classes.
I do have a school that you could, the JP School of Mystical Arts, and I do a lot of psychic stuff. Yeah. So when you're ready, check it out. But definitely don't let it go aside. You want to make sure you embrace that for the signs you receive.
All right.
Thanks, Susan. Okay, honey. Lots of love.
You're welcome.
You.
I appreciate it. Lots of love to you. Thank you.
Okay. You want another call? Is that okay, Renee?
Sure.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. Let's see here. Jenna, I am going to bring you into the studio. Jenna, you're live. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Jenna.
Hi, Jenna. You're live.
She might be dead.
She's very quiet, so let's try somebody else. All right. So Gina, you're live.
Gina, not Jenna. Gina. Okay. Gina, hi.
Hi. Yes, it's my name. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Hi, Gina.
Hi, how are you guys? I'm so happy to see you guys on. I just happened to turn on the computer, and I've been so busy I haven't listened to you guys for a while or any of the usual stuff I do. So I was happy to see you guys. I'm like, oh, look, I'm live right now.
That's great. You're on our radar.
Yeah. I just wanted to share a couple things. Lately I've been really feeling pushed into like a push to really stay on top of setting boundaries. I guess a good example would be I listened to Iyanla Vanzant. She had mentioned, yeah, she said one time that she had told a lady in the store, the lady was being, I don't know if she was having a bad day, but she was upset, and she made a comment to her. So she tapped her on the back and said, "Please forgive me. Was there something that I have done to make you feel like it's okay to talk to me this way?" And that always sticks in my head. Like, so I'm thinking, yeah, this is exactly what the point that because I guess my voice has been suppressed for most of my life, and I'm afraid of the consequence or reaction of somebody. And so it seems like that's coming to an end, and I'm being forced to practice it.
Well, Gina,
really
you're a
feel
force. You are a force, and you're a healer. So you start right away, and what other people think of you is none of your business. Remember that one. Live by that, please. And you've come into the world to change it in a way. A little bit of part of your circle, whatever your circle is, wherever that takes you, however large or small it is. You have to make an impact. You might make a difference. So bring that light and bring that awareness that you got from Alana. That was a great one. To point that at people, because you have to change that behavior in people, or at least present that to them. Because a lot of people just get into that pattern and don't realize that they're hurting someone or saying something that's not right. So for you to stop, like, wait a minute, let's think about this a different way. And I think they'll hear it from you, sweetheart. I think it's your thing, and good for you.
Yeah, and I feel really good about it, and I'm able to teach my kids now that they're young. No, I don't really like being called that. Can you not call me that? And
love that.
Okay, I won't.
You know what it does, Gina? You know what it does also? Let's talk about it energetically. So energetically, you're putting out something negative in a way that will be more positive, and you're informing, you're teaching that person who might not be aware of it. You're teaching them, you're bringing them in a positive, loving, compassionate way, how to look at something in a very different way. And that will help them too, hopefully, to realize, oh, I shouldn't be like that. Maybe I'll break that, So good. That's it. Yeah. You got it. Good. Put the positive energy
I explained to my son, that when you call somebody a name, they're young, and when you call someone a name, it's not good for them, and it's not good for you either, for your spirit. So, and he's like, well, it seems like kids they're when they're young, they soak it up like a sponge, and they get it right away. Like,
sure.
As when you're older, I guess.
Well, because they've just come to the side of life, so sure.
Yeah. My sister passed away a couple months ago, and I just was curious if she has anything to say, or is she around at all, or.
We're not doing readings tonight, but I'm doing an event, Evening of Spirit Messages on the 22nd, which I will do readings then. I'll do messages then. If you want to come to that, we'll look forward to have you.
I joined the last. Yeah.
Oh, good.
I will definitely. The 22nd?
Yes, 22nd at 6 p.m.
Okay, thank you so much.
Gina. Okay.
You're welcome.
Kellee.
Very sweet. Well, okay. Let's see.
Yeah.
Should we take one more call?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Andrea, I'm going to make you live in the show. So here we go. You're live. Please go ahead. Ask your question.
Hi. I think just by nature, I'm a very negative person, and I work so hard not to be. But that's my first reaction. I'm a negative person. And I was wondering about situations in the past where I, was mean to people or just felt victimized when I wasn't. And is there any way, like, to go back in your past and correct this thing?
Kellee?
Well, yeah, let me just start with this. I'm going to assume that you have a negative pattern that there was a lot of trauma in your life early on. I'm just going to make that assumption, or that your parents had trauma, or that you learned negativity. But going forward, because if we just start right this moment, at every moment, the premise is you can make a different choice. At this moment, you are very aware. You're classically aware, actually, that you're negative. And so what's the opposite of that is positive. So it may feel very uncomfortable for a while to change the brain waves into a positive. It's going to feel uncomfortable. And that means you're doing it correctly. Because if it felt normal for you is negative. So you want to push the brain waves as much as you can into the positive realm here. Because you're aware of it now. So you're aware of that. Good for you that you're aware. But now's the time. It's to do good in the world going forward with your brain.
Yes, that's what I'm trying.
Okay, you can do it. You can do it.
And you really should do it because you have how much time left on this earth, right? It's like,
Right.
but every day is a could be our last day. We don't know, so you want to make sure you leave it in a positive way because you don't want to get to the other side of life and look back and say, oh wow, I used that time in such a negative way. Why wasn't it positive? I could have loved myself so much more. Why didn't I do that? So I would suggest also put positive things around your house. Clean out the house. Go clean, make a nice cleaning of it. Purify it. Get rid of things you don't need anymore. Let go of your past. Create a new day and new way of doing things. And the Kellee says it's going to be uncomfortable, but that's okay. It's part of the learning experience. And you're in, let's say you're in 8th grade right now, and in 1st grade you did things differently because you were unaware. And 5th grade you're unaware. You weren't aware. At that time you were unaware. Now you're aware. So that's the number one step in healing is being aware. You're aware that behavior in the past was not good for you and for everybody else involved. So now you're doing the right thing, the positive things, making a change. First step too, sweetheart, is loving yourself. You got to find something loving about who you are, right? Because you're not just dropped down here. None of us just dropped here. We come from real loving beings, and maybe it's been conditioned by our, families or behaviors that things aren't, we're not meant to succeed or negative. But we can change that because we're all positive down the core.
Now, and I love Allison Barker McKinney. She actually says false positivity doesn't work very well. And I agree with that, Allison. It doesn't. And she suggests working through shadow work. And shadow work was your friend.
Yes, Debbie Ford.
Debbie Ford. I mean, that's very true. And so what we're really talking about here is working on your issues, looking at why you're negative, starting to the release process. And it's not an easy process, but you can do it. We all have shadows.
Real shadows. Everyone has shadows.
Everybody.
And we just can't let them control our lives. We've got to put them in their proper place, right? We all have them. Just put them in their place. That's it. But you got to bring that love. Love is number one incredible healing force in the universe. And we got to use it every day. Yeah. Comes a way of life then. Okay. Good luck, sweetheart.
Thank you. Very true.
Okay.
Wow. I mean, that's tough to work on negativity, but it's so important. It's everything because once you know that you're being negative, boy, that's the time where you have to stop yourself and say, okay, it's going to feel weird, but I'm going to make a different choice now.
But also, it's not only a person that you're affected with the way you behave, but not if it's addressed to one person, but energetically, it affects everyone. I mean,
it affects everything. It's like toxin that comes out, and it's toxin to yourself.
Exactly.
I mean, that's it. You know what I'll do with my clients? I'll say, all right, that's enough. All right, I can't hear anymore. All right, stop. I actually will do that.
I get the picture.
Okay, I got it.
Drama. Yeah, I got it. Moving on. I find that too as I'm getting older. I have no time for this.
I have no time for this one. Because it's a waste of time.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy.
And it's a boomerang effect. It really does. The more negativity you put out, the more negativity you're going to get back.
I won't take a lot of negativity around me. I really won't. I won't.
I can't.
No. No, people, that way. Because I feel sorry for them, but
yeah. Oh my God.
I would say one more thing too.
Okay.
People who are maybe their friends or people in their lives who are negative or do nasty things and whatever, and you try to do good things and positive. Be very careful. Again, there's gonna be boundary. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Yeah. So all the good deeds you can do, that person won't change them necessarily. So don't get caught up in that. I've been caught up in that one. You give. It's like, well, you're drained. It's like, well, they don't get it anyway. So don't get caught up in that.
And at that point, you're really talking almost about personality disorders, really, because you could give every drop of your blood and it's not going to be enough.
Right. So don't do that, folks, because a lot of people will do that. Even mothers will lose their kids or the kids are drug addicts. They give money to them. It's like, well, you're paying their habit. You're enabling these kids.
Whoa, so true. And Lee Anderson says she gets drained from negative people. It's true. You get drained.
So what are you putting out to this earth?
Yeah. So you want positive things.
Yeah, don't have negativity around you. Why are you endorsing negativity? Don't have it around you.
Stop already.
We're already dealing with the whole political climate of this land, of this country here and all over the world, and it's been very negative, very, very negative, and it's just been horrible to see the negativity. And maybe I always look at the positive. Maybe they had these things that have come to the light. That behaviors like this and the source, of it all. And it's just got to bring things to light because they all need to be healed. So, we have to think of the positive aspects, the attributes, not negative.
And you've got to feed your brain and your soul positivity.
It's true.
And the more positive you put in your soul, the more positive comes out of your soul.
It's true.
You want to raise that vibration from a lot of love. Go out in your own personal garden, in you, the garden of you, and feed it good things.
And weed it occasionally too.
And weed it. And I don't mean smoking weed. I mean
No.
weed it.
That's what you could do too, but this is fun. It's very funny. I told the story before that my friend Janavi and I went to Target about 3 months ago. Started time out, started socialization with our masks and everything. And we were up and down the aisles and we're laughing and joking about items and things. And we had people actually literally coming up to us from the different areas of the store saying, "Oh, it's so good to hear laughter again. Oh, thank you so much for this. Oh, thank you. It helped my afternoon." And you never know how it's going to affect people, and we're just having a good time with each other and positivity, because that's who we are, we try, and people love it because people are making love, not fear. And they think, "Oh, I like that. I'm attracted to that."
And that it's okay to laugh during these times.
It's okay to be kids again.
It's okay.
We're running around. I mean, come on. I'm 60 years old and I look like a 15-year-old. Who knows? You got to keep that child alive inside. You have to. I told you I was swinging every day. My swings are at my park here, and my little space they created, and I have swings, and I swing every day.
Is that the greatest?
I'm getting a little dizzier now. It's the greatest. I want to get a trampoline too.
Did you get your trampoline?
Not yet. I want to get one.
Okay.
I'm thinking about it. It's another tipping choice. You got to surfing. I'm not sure if you're going to be a surfer or a trampoline. I'm probably either at my age.
I don't know. I think of my hips first.
I'm first going to get my tattoo.
Oh my God.
I did get the truck. I have a truck, so that's good. I got that across that off my
You
list.
did get that truck.
Oh, I've been using it like crazy. I went to the nursery this weekend. I was crazy using it. Yeah, I love my truck. I love being above traffic. I love it. And I like
great.
it.
Oh my
You have a
gosh.
truck. Where you live, you have a truck in Wisconsin, don't you?
Well, no, we both have SUVs, but everybody around us has trucks.
Okay.
I mean,
And
they're all.
I know you've had your first snowfall.
Oh, let me tell you what, we have so much snow. Oh, it's different, when I'm looking at you and you're FaceTiming me and I see all this beautiful, and weather and the flowers, and I'm looking outside and it's beautiful here. It is beautiful, but it's cold, and it snowed in Texas. My daughter said, I have pictures of my daughter's home in Texas. It snowed, which was kind of wild. This is a wild time we're all in. Interesting.
Yes. Next time we talk, you have to ask about the weather. I have something to tell you about the weather.
Oh.
Maybe we'll bring the show later on.
Okay. Well, I look forward. I want to hear about the weather. Well, so we're almost out of time, and I know that on January 22nd,
yes,
you're doing. I think I'm going to jump on there with you. The Evening of Spirit.
Yes.
Which would be great.
It's going to be a little different than last time. It's going to be less people. And there's going to be a little introduction by yours truly. And we're doing a whole production thing there. So, because we really want, we listen to everybody's emails and comments because we want to learn from this. And people like to say, well, we want to feel like special, like an event. So we're making it more of an event.
Good.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot more readings too. A lot more readings.
Good.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
It'll help a lot of people.
It'll help a lot of people. And then Dr. Shirley and I are going to do a show on February 27th. It's not up yet, but it's on bad siblings. We did bad mothers, bad fathers, and now we're going to do bad siblings. So February 27th. Maybe you'll do a meditation for us.
I would. Please.
That would be great.
Please. That would be a good one. I love that.
We always have a good time, no matter what, James. We still have each other.
Yes, exactly right.
No matter what.
Positivity.
Oh my gosh. And you'll see my show is on Thursday. Ask Me Anything on Thursday.
Oh, that's the name of the show. Ask Me Anything.
Ask Me Anything.
How has that been going? Ask Me Anything.
It's fun. It's a great show. I love it.
What questions are you asked? Can I just
Oh my gosh. Well, psychological, a lot of psychological, a lot of spiritual ones. Really interesting. I get some really, like you do on soul care. I get some really interesting ones. It's kind of fun. It's a lot of fun.
So in closing, I just want to say to everybody, just consequences was a word that came to me last week or whatever we were talking. But that's really a word I've known that word for a long time. For truth or consequences, Bob Barker back in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
But the word consequences, I like that because everything has a consequence. So every action has a reaction. Reaction is a consequence. So the choices you make for yourself or others, there's a consequence involved.
Yep.
And whether you see the consequence happen immediately or 10 years down the road, there'll be a consequence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
very true. That's very true. Well, gosh,
Thank you, Kellee.
thank you, James, and thank you,
Thank
Renee.
you, Renee, very much for helping us backstage there. And
You've been listening to Both Sides Now and Beyond, featuring spiritual medium and master teacher James Van Praagh and spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
The James and Kellee Show.